To kick things off, I want to talk about file management. Since USD is a referencing plugin, keeping our files organized in a good structure is imperative. Since we are calling up different files from different places, if we don't work in an orderly manner, we're going to have a lot of issues later on. Basically, our files won't be able to find the different assets if we change or delete a folder that we don't want to delete. Or if we handing off our work to someone else and we forgot some folders, they won't be able to read it. I'm going to show you the setup that I have and the lessons I learned while I was preparing this tutorial series. Now, I've worked for many years in different companies. Each one had their own unique pipeline and the way that they distribute their data. Since I don't have a very robust pipeline, I don't have a team building and creating everything, I'm just going to show you how I go about setting up my personal scenes, and then I'm going to talk about what's probably important for USD, which really is not much different than just the regular Maya referencing. So, with that being said, and with this very long preambled introduction to this subject of folder structure, I'm just going to dive straight into the folder structure we have in front of us. And what we actually have here is just the default folder structure that we get when we create a new project. All of these folders are created automatically by Maya, and that's what I'm going to use since I'm working in Maya. If I'm working in different software, again, you can build a different type of folder structure. In this case, I'm just using what Maya gives me because this is my main software that I use on a daily basis. All right, so the folders that we are probably going to use the most, these three, is the caching, the scene, and the source images, which is like 99% of the time what we use when we work. All right, so let's dive into our scene folder, and in the scene folder, I have everything that will build up my scene, and I have what I call the rule of three, where I try to have my subjects broken down three folders or less. So in this case, I have two folders. One is going to be for my sequences, and one is going to be for my assets. Now, the idea is the different departments that are going to use these different folders. Animation and lighting and rendering are going to use the sequence, and assets is going to be modeling, texturing, and probably depends on the situation, will probably be maybe CFX, but or the effects team, depends on what they need to if they're making an asset or they're working on the actual shot. So it depends if they're working on the shot or working on whatever builds up the shot. So if I go into my assets, you can see I got modeling and rigging in here because these are the two departments that are going to directly need assets here. So in each one of these, I have it broken down into characters, props, and sets. And then if I go into my props here, I got my prop that I have here, which is flag. All right. So let's say I have multiple props. I'll have all the multiple assets here. I've seen in some cases that they don't break it into the characters and so on. They just have a long list of things. But I find that if I have my characters separate, my props, and then my sets, there's going to be just anything that will build that up. Actually, I have some folder structure that's not useful there. All right, let's go in here. And in this asset itself, I have a folder structure that I grabbed from the LookDevX folder structure. And each one of these is going to represent a layer that is created within USD. So when we get into USD, I'm going to break it down more and talk about it. But more or less that when you create a layer, you can then create, let's say, different materials, such as the flag material will have its own layer, but then you could also have like your different tests that you do, the different colors, the different binds you have. So when you bind something, you can have that layered and so on. So you can do some look dev stuff. So you want that, and then I have this geo folder here where I have all the parts of the character here. So here I have like flag static, flag geo stuff. So basically we have all of that in the geo. Then over here I have my variants. Sadly, in 2024, creating a variant is a bit difficult unless you're using another plugin that is called Bifrost. If you know how to use it, great. There's a wonderful tutorial on the Maya Learning channel teaching you how to create a Bifrost USD setup, and then you can create variants, which maybe in the future I'll show a quick way of using it. And then over here I have my flag USD. Right now you're just seeing the lessons that I created, but you can see like the steps that I've taken. So I've got the model and then how I've created it. So now it's USD ready, and then first pass on the USD and then the third pass. So basically these are going to be the Maya files, and then I have my USD layer over here that gets called up somewhere else. All right, so that's basically the assets. Let's take a look at this, the sequence. And the sequence is basically, I have sequence over here. So I'm going to go sequence 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And in each sequence, I'll have shot 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or however you want to name the shot. And in that folder, I'll have the different departments that are assigned to those a folder for each department. And these will contain the layers that we will create within the USD. So let's say layout will have, if I go in here, it has like 2 layers for the camera. So I have 2 versions of the camera wherever it is, right? And then I have the layout itself layer. And here in the CFX, I got the different flag sims, and then I also have the USD layer, and I also have, because it's in the CFX, I have my folder where I set up my sims, and then I have my Houdini one, which is everything that's Houdini. It sits in here. So that's basically it. This is basically the folder structure that I have. I hope it makes sense to you guys. It's just to kind of keep everything nice and neat. Start working with it and see what works for you. Please put a comment down below if you have better ideas. We're here to learn from each other, so leave comments down below. And if I need to make another video about this, I will. So with that being said, let's move into the next lesson where we will start building up our USD asset.